Hi students, this is the syllabus review video lecture for 051. You are having a syllabus quiz with 20 questions. I'm going to give you some hints and tell you some of the questions that are going to be in your quiz. Check your due date in module 1. However, I'm not going to give you all the 20 questions that you are having in your quiz, but you do need to watch the video lecture because having your quiz PDF open to answer them, not all the questions are there. Some I'm going to mention them here in the video lecture. So first of all, this is a hybrid class. You're getting for your units. It's a 3-hour class. However, we only come and meet in person 2 hours. Therefore, you have, as this is a hybrid class again, therefore you have an hour that you're expected to do extra work for the video lectures, plus your other hours of study. So just wanted to make sure you do understand that the video lectures are part of the time, the extra time allotted for your hybrid class, because we meet 2 hours in person. The other hour is for you expected to watch your video lectures. We do have mandatory meetings. These are quiz questions. Here's one and here's the other ones every Monday. Also, we had a room change due to the large number of students that are waitlisted. So now we're in room A207. Another quiz question. My legal name is Lillian De La Torre Reed. However, I prefer to go by Lillian De La Torre without the Reed. So that's another quiz question. Also, I am not Margarita De La Torre. I'm not related to Margarita De La Torre. Margarita De La Torre teaches our legal interpreting class. So that's one quiz question. What is my preference? For the preferred method of communication, please follow them in this order. This is a quiz question. Please inbox me in your Canvas student app or desktop, whichever is faster for you, whichever you have more readily access to. I encourage you to download on your phone, on your smartphone, the Canvas student app, so that you can make sure that you check that your inbox and other assignments there, as well as attendance. If not possible to inbox me first, then go ahead and send me an email. And the second choice is email, and my email is listed here. Okay. So this is another quiz question. Which one is my email? So for the course description is self-explanatory. Read those on your own time. But here for the learning outcomes and the course objectives, you are going to be quizzed on the first 3. So make sure number 1, number 2, and number 3. So this will be true or false questions. So make sure you review those 3 objectives. And actually, you will be, when you watch the video lecture part 1 from module 1, you'll see how these 3 objectives relate to what I'm teaching you in the first part of module 1. Okay, so you can go over the student learning outcomes. For the textbook, this is a 0 textbook cost class, meaning you are not required to have a textbook. So this is another question. What I do provide is links to glossaries in different industries. For example, you will have, there is a module called glossaries and resources. So that is usually above module 1. It can be found above module 1, and we separate in a couple of the classes. I know that instructor Nayeli Strong does the same. We separate them by industry. So, for example, I have medical glossaries, educational glossaries, business glossaries, and legal glossaries. Okay. And again, the video lectures for each module, this is another question, you will have a video lecture and you will be provided with a PowerPoint. However, it's important that you watch the video lecture because I am going to be quizzing you in some of the video lectures. They are for the purpose of me explaining the concepts and the topics to reinforce your learning of interpreting and translating for this class. Also, I recommend that you bring your USB in case you need to save some of your class exercises that we're going to do in class. We will be using headsets later in the semester for you to practice consecutive and simultaneous interpreting during class. So very important because you have a holiday. So this is a quick question. You will not be coming to class on a Monday during week 2, which is module 2. However, you are expected to follow all the exercises. Here is the schedule of assignments, and you have exercises that are due, and you also have a discussion. So please make sure that you finish all these assignments before we come and before we start. Our second meeting will be during week 3, module 3. So the modules correspond to each week. So this would be module 3 and so forth. This is module 2 and this is module 1. So weeks are modules. Okay, so that's how we separate our content, our instructional content. So very important for you to pay attention to the class exercises, meaning that most of them will be done in class. So for example, class exercise 1, you will do in class. It's a group competition of coming up with colloquial words for week 1. For week 2, you have a holiday. So it's going to be available to you for you to review and start working ahead of time, but you have to do it. It says needs to be translated during week 3 in class due February 28th. So that business article, we're going to do it together during week 3. So week 3, because you are part of a certificate and there are some deadlines to submit in your certificate petition forms if you're already towards the end of your certificate. The first half of week 3, this is a quiz question, we will review the certificate petition requirements and we will go over all the classes that you need to complete the certificate. And because we're talking about the interpreting and translation industry, that week we will discuss the forecast of the industry and some types of internship, voluntary work, and other interpreting jobs that are available locally. You will have another homework due the following week in which you yourself have to look for 5 job leads in the interpreting translation industry. And I will let you know more about that in the other upcoming video lectures. So please make sure that you do follow the instructions because that you have to follow some of the deadlines before the previous week starts. So what I am going to be doing, and this is also in the quiz, is the very first 15 minutes of class, besides going over the bloopers. So bloopers are just errors in translation and interpreting. If you do bring them, you will be getting extra credit, and there will be more information on that I will give you in person, as there will be a module called extra credit, and one of those could be for bloopers if you submit bloopers. So those could be anything like, for example, if you see someone with a sign on a corner and Spanish is misspelled or the wrong word is translated, just take a picture of you go to a business, the same thing, and just upload it in your extra credit so we can share it with the class. For week 4, it's very important that you also, again, read the discussions that are due for the previous week, as there will be a tech talk that you are required, another quiz question to listen to as part of your discussion, and also a podcast, another quiz question. Okay, so that's part of the discussion. So the question might be something along the lines of, will listening to a podcast be part of one of the discussions? True or false? So you have the answer there. I gave you a freebie. And very, very important is to know when your spring break is. Okay, here are the dates. Quiz question. And besides that one, also the other holiday, upcoming holiday that you have towards the end of the semester. And that would be May. Here it is. Memorial Day. That's another quiz question. Okay, so no class on May 25th. Remember, February 17th and May 25th, holiday. So no classes. Quiz question. Your quiz is June 1st. Quiz question. Okay. Also very important, after you review the schedule assignments, you need to go over some of the policies that I have for the class. There will be 9 homework assignments required during the semester. Okay, they will require creative thinking on your part and the appropriate use of Spanish or English grammar, sentence structure, colloquial, regional, and slang knowledge. Each assignment will be graded within a week of submission. It might take me a little bit longer depending if there are some late submissions. Please post any questions or doubts about the assignment and deadlines in the general course question section. I will review where that is. It's a quiz question. That is right about Module 1. And it tells you here, located about NetTutor in Module 1. So if you have just journal questions about the course, please post them there. There are 8 class exercises. Okay, 8 class exercises. Also a quiz question. There are 8 discussions in the semester. Quiz question. And here I talk to you about the due dates. Our due dates are Sunday unless otherwise noted. When I mean otherwise noted is, let me give you an example. We do have 2 scheduled guest speakers coming. And let's say a few days before our scheduled guest speaker, they for some reason, unforeseeable reason, have to cancel their presentation. So then we would meet, and there might be a possibility that I might change an assignment due because the guest speaker changed their commitment to come and speak. So I might have to do some rearranging, but that's only in the case that they do have to cancel last minute or reschedule. But I will keep you posted in class, okay? And then you are required to take 3 in-class quizzes. That means closed book, and those are in class only. Okay, quiz question. And 4 Canvas quizzes on your own. The syllabus being one of those Canvas quizzes that you can take on your own. You could take them from home. You could take them on your own time, but you do have to follow the due dates. Okay, so that's another quiz question. The weights, you're supposed to know how I weight the assignment. So the final is 30%. All of this is a quiz question. Okay, you have to do multiple choice and pick up the correct weights. So your homework and class exercise 15 each. Your discussions are 20. And your quizzes are 20. So the big most important thing is your final, but also your class exercises along with your homework. They make up 30% of your grade. So these 2 are the exact same weight as the final. Very important. One thing that I would recommend for you to do is to get into the habit of participating in the discussion. Do not wait for the first post due on Friday and then your 2 replies to your classmates on Sunday, because this is the area where I see this is going to be a question when you need to reply your first answer and then your replies to your classmates, because this is the area that unfortunately that I see that students do not follow. And their time management is not very effective, and they miss really important points. The discussions are worth a lot of points, and at the end of the day, when I have to total all your points, and Canvas does a great job doing that, some students have seen a drop in their grade by not participating in the discussion. So it's very easy. There's the objective for that particular discussion. So please make sure that you complete all the assignments. And then extra credit assignments, those I I'm going to add them manually. They're not graded, and I add them manually to your final total points. Here, please review this quiz structure, the final exam, what it is going to consist of. I'm going to talk to you later more about that. And very important, this is also a quiz question. So again, there's 20 questions in your syllabus quiz, and you have 2 attempts to get them correct. So you know that we meet for the first time February 10th. The end of the date is June 1st to June 7th is the finals exam week. Our scheduled final is June 1st. Very important. This is crucial because I am going to be dropping students that are not coming to class. So last day to add a class with the add code is February 23rd. Last drop date without a W, is May 10th. Last drop date without a W is February 23rd. So let's say someone came to the first class and then I don't see them submitting any work. That's how I do the attendance, by looking also at class participation, the discussions, and submission of work. And there's nothing submitted for week 1, nothing submitted for week 2. You will be dropped. Okay, you will be dropped. Comes the 23rd, you will be dropped. The last date to get a refund is February 23rd. And again, finals week is June 1st to June 7th. So here, I'd rather drop you, and that way you still can get a refund if your intention was to drop the class. And some students just forget and just stop attending, and otherwise you will not be able to get a refund. If after the 23rd you come and tell me, but I do want to keep this class, and then you submit your work, then we can, or have your work and show me that you have your work, then we can work something out that I can add you back to the class. But that has to be on a case-by-case basis. So please review the academic honesty policy. Unfortunately, I had to enforce it a couple of times when there has been plagiarism in class. So very important, again, is for you to understand that you are learning, and some of you are more advanced. Please review this. This is a quiz question, and this is very important because in the past I have not graded. I have I gave students a 0, 4 points for submitting a word-by-word plagiarize. Even if you just copy paste from Google, it's still the same as plagiarism. So you'll receive 0 points if you submit work that is plagiarized from Google Translate and or Word Translate. Okay, so this is the same as Word because the Word has a feature for you to translate. So really, you're doing yourself a disservice if you just click on the Word Translate and then submit it as is, and you didn't make any effort to check if the verb subject agreement is correct, because it does make a difference in English from Spanish. So I have for every assignment what it would be if I would just submit it as a Google Translate, and I compare documents, and sometimes when there's nothing different from a Google Translate to how the submission was submitted, then I cannot give you grades, because it is very unlikely that you will do the exact same translation as Google Translate or as the Word. So please, looking at words is a very different thing than just copy pasting. So if that is the case, you will get 0 points. So that will be a quiz question, because this is something that students do more often than not. So I really need to caution you on that. This concludes our syllabus review, and please make sure that you check the date, the due date for this syllabus quiz review for you to take your quiz, and it's in module 1. Thank you, students.